Hey Noville fans, and good morning to you. Happy Father's Day this Sunday morning. We're getting ready to head out pretty early here from North Dakota. As you can see, we got some pretty bad storms outside that we're gonna have to brave. But let me tell you about today. Today is a very special day in the life of a Korean adoptee, which is myself. And also, I get to meet one of my cousins for the first time, a blood relative cousin that I have connected with from one of those DNA sites that we've matched on. And we share, I believe it's third grandparents, if you look on the tree. So this is kind of like a fourth or third to a fourth cousin, which is pretty dang close to what I could find. So I haven't found anything closer than that throughout most of the other relatives that I do find there. We all seem to be pretty distant cousins in some form or fashion. He, just like me, was a Korean adoptee, adopted into a white family, and that's how he grew up there. So it's going to be I guess a pretty exciting day for both of us. So this is the first time that he's ever met a blood relative. It's the same thing for me. It's going to be a new experience. So we're both looking forward to this, and we will bring you along for the journey for today. But we're going to try to get out of here, fight this storm, and we'll catch you guys when we get to Omaha and meet my cousin for the very first time, a blood relative. So we'll see you then. All right, we finally made it to the meeting spot to where I get to meet my cousin, and we're gonna get out and see if we can find him. So pretty excited. I mean, I don't know if he's here or not, but I know I am. So we're gonna go on a hunt while Tanya has to go shake a leg.
Tim's nervous, he's pacing. Are you anxious?
Huh?
I said, are you anxious?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy for you. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool.
You the man? Yeah. Hey, Matt. Hey, how's it going? Good, man. All right. Long time, huh? Chatting with each other.
Yeah.
Awesome. This right here is Matt Snowden, and we found each other on one of the DNA websites there, and we're a pretty close match, as close as it's going to come when it comes to cousins. And so luckily, by chance, he lives here close to in Omaha, and I'm in Kansas City, south of Kansas City. So we wanted to meet, and this is the first time both of us are meeting actual blood relatives in this whole search of who we are. And that's been the journey, is that who we are and how do we identify as being Korean adoptees and fitting into society. Of course, his parents were white, that raised him. The same thing for me. And so there's a lot of similarities in how we were raised up. Of course, he's probably about 12 years younger than I am. And so I was born in 74. He was born in what, 86, 85, 86?
86.
So there's that age gap that's there, and how does that all tie in to us still having the same third great grandparents on the actual tree? So I think the more we talk and get to figure things out, we're gonna kind of hopefully see that there's similarities between he and I. I mean, Tanya, look at us.
We're kind of close.
Yeah, do we look pretty similar facial wise, do you think? Or I mean, how far away can cousins be to where they're similar?
Oh, you can be really similar even though there's that many generations between you, because you've seen that picture that looks just like my dad, and that's his great grandfather.
Yeah.
So genetics is a strange thing,
Yeah.
how it carries through and
So I think that
connects
we got,
you.
pretty much of the same. I mean, hell, we're both Korean, so we have the Korean features,
Right.
So I mean,
Hey,
that's not
you
the
all
whole
look
way.
alike.
Yeah, and it's the whole we look alike. But I mean, this is just great to know that there's still similarities now that I can be able to relate to, and I think the same thing for him. But I mean, that's just it. Is that when you start finding these matches and start meeting people, and like I said, this is the first time that we've actually met somebody of our kin together. So there's going to be a lot of discussion, a lot of things that we want to try to figure things out with. And I don't know how that will lead into the search of things, but I don't know about you, Matt, but I wasn't necessarily big into searching myself. Now, my wife is the genealogist. She is the one who can find all kinds of different people and stuff, and I was never much into it and didn't never dabble into much of it. But once I started seeing how things were lining up in some of these sites and stuff, I got more curious about stuff. And so I think for me, this is going to be just the tip of the iceberg of trying to find things. And I want to find things while I'm still alive and able to, and still young. But I just want to
Kind of hard to find them when you're dead.
Well, exactly. but what I'm saying is that I know that my time is limited as I've kind of let this go and not really, cared so much about it. And so I don't know about you. I mean, are you similar in that, or?
I was, yeah. Like I just, I got into it probably a couple years ago.
Okay.
I really didn't get into it until my older sister, because she was adopted from Florida and stuff, and then she actually found her birth parents and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it got me kind of curious,
Mm-hmm.
And my dad said, it'll probably be harder for you, just because, you had to close adoption and everything and stuff like that. But I went ahead and tried it and stuff like that.
Well, good. Well, like I said, this is my cousin, closest one I could find, and so we're going to talk some more and try to get some more information and stuff like that. So I'm going to whip out the laptop real quick and see what we can find and what we can dabble with. But yeah, I mean, we're going to get to know each other a little bit off camera, but after that, we'll let you guys know how things progress. So thanks for joining up to this point. So we'll catch you then. So how long have you been here in this area, in this Omaha area?
All my life.
So this is where you got adopted into then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was brought. I came over through home agency.
Yeah, same as me.
I was the only baby that slept the whole entire flight too.
Yeah.
He did not.
I didn't sleep the whole entire flight. So according to my paperwork, I was pretty active and was causing problems on the flight. And,
Trying to catch bugs.
Yeah, trying to catch bugs and doing weird stuff like that. So I was an active kid when I was young. I was not a quiet kid.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
He still isn't.
I played baseball until I hit my freshman year, so I played since '91 to '99.
Okay, so what year did you come here to the States then?
I was brought over in '86.
86? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your birthday?
124.
So how old was you? About 2, 3 years old?
No, probably like 3.5 months old. I think.
Oh, so you was young.
I was already drinking. I was already on solids.
Oh, good lord, man. Yeah, I was 6 years whenever I got here. So I still have some memories of the orphanage that I was in, and then, I mean, I had the memory and the linguistic issues, as a 6-year-old.
I guess on my papers, like my birth parents didn't want to be like contacted, so they did like a closed adoption.
Okay.
So I don't even know who my parents were or anything.
Okay.
So you didn't have any kind of
I got
like.
nothing. So my story was I was dropped off at a boys' home in So, and I don't know how old I had to be an infant when I was there. I was there for 2 or 3 years. That boys' home burnt down, and I got moved to Chechen with Jane White. She had an orphanage there, and I was there for about another almost 2.5 years or whatever.
That's in Korea, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went from So to Chechen, and then from there to the States. So I bounced around with those two places. But like I said, I was almost 6 when I got here in the States. So I didn't get the fortunate benefits of having any kind of paperwork or nothing like that. That's the reason I'm just I'm just, the
Still on your birthday?
Yeah, the actual Korean name that I had was made up. My birthday was made up. Everything was made up. And so that's the reason I'm celebrating my birthday every year this year.
So they don't know, like, that's weird.
Yeah.
When I came over, my name was Kim Jung-min.
Okay. So was that given to you, or was that actually your surname being a Kim?
I don't know.
You don't know? See, because mine was a No. That's the reason I have pictures of No-Bill, because mine was No Boo Bill, but it was given to me by the guy who ran that place.
I think because I don't know her name, they just called her like Mama Holt or something. So, I guess from like the paperwork, what my adopted dad told me, like he told me like, I guess like my birth mom had like a boyfriend and was married, and the boyfriend found out that it wasn't his kid, and I was the last child. So basically, like you either choose me or your kid, and she wanted, I guess, Magic probably wanted me to have a better life or something.
Yeah.
So, but. I guess I had like maybe 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Wow.
I did Ancestry.com, but I didn't really like that, so I tried, my dad mentioned 23andMe, so he bought me a kit and stuff, and so I did that, and I just found like a whole bunch of like people, but like they all lived all overseas and stuff, so.
Yeah, same here. So like
and
I
then
said,
yours, and then I saw you, and then like, came up in Kansas. I was like, wow, that's pretty close.
Yep, absolutely. Man, that's great, man. I'm like I said, I'm excited to meet an actual, blood relative. It says that we share 3rd great grandparents. So that means we have the same 3rd great grandparents on the line, which makes us like 5th or 4th or 5th cousins of whatever, so many times removed as we go down the family tree. And so that's about as far as I've gotten of actually looking and seeing how that is. And so we're distant kin, but still being 3rd or 4th cousins, I mean, that's still pretty good for us.
Yeah.
Very good. So far, we're trying to go through family history and trees and stuff, trying to get some educations done on here. So having some lunch and trying to figure things out more about what we can do to try to find more people, or try to find a place, I guess, to even start. So he's got a good place to start versus I do, because he somewhat has closed records and stuff where I don't. And we're going to try to see what we can find out and how we can be able to find other people. So that's what we're doing. We're still working on DNA stuff. We finally made a goofy map trying to explain how we're related as cousins, 3rd, 4th cousins and stuff. So we're slowly hacking away on getting information, and he's trying to get into his 23andMe also, but we're going to still investigate. All right, so Matt and I have spent some time trying to dissect a little bit about our DNAs and how we're all related and how it all ties in together. I think we're more confused now than we were before. How do you feel?
Definitely.
Definitely confused. So what we do know, I think, on how it works is that we're both related from our father's side. So whoever our fathers are, that's how we're related, and we have the same great grandparents, so 3rd greats in there. So that person is the same. How it all goes down from there, we don't know. His situation versus mine is that I have 0 information or any kind of documentation, or really I have nothing. So you guys already know my story where I have nothing. I'm a John Doe Korean equivalent, no name, surname, no nothing. Matt, on the other hand, he has what's called a closed adoption. So his birth family has a closed adoption with paperwork, so he can technically know who they are, but they've sealed the files and don't want him to know, or don't want him to contact them, is how it works. So I think from the way that his family explained it to him, is that's his situation. So if he ever does get his hands on those files and it's unlocked, he can be able to try to search and kind of trace the tree up from there. And when it gets to the 3rd great grandfather, from there, that's how we can tie in to see how it goes down my tree. So he's got more information and more avenues to search than I do. Similarities, we both like the cold. We both like to wear shorts and t-shirts when it's in the 30s and 40s. We're both meticulous about certain things that we do tasks wise, and other things we just don't pay much attention to. He seems to be more of a multitasker, and he can do multiple things and not have to, I don't know, you said that you feel like you have to finish something when you start it, or can you just come back to it and do whatever?
I can do both. I just prefer once I start something, I just don't want to leave it unfinished.
Yeah, I get it. So I'm kind of the same way, but I can be able to start something and come back to it whenever, and it'll get done regardless, but it don't have to be done immediately. So those are some of the similarities in personalities. I think environment wise, growing up, of course, different. I'm a country bumpkin, and he's more of a kind of a city boy, I guess, because he grew up here in the Bellevue, Omaha area, which is more of a bigger city than what Rainsville and Fort Payne, Alabama was. So he's been experienced more into the city stuff than I guess I was at a young age. And so again, we got to remember that, well, I guess not really, because you would have still grown up in the mid 80s to late 80s, early 90s. That's about the time when you would have actually been 6 years old, would have been in the early 90s, versus me. I'm an 80s kid straight up. So I came into the States in 1980, and all my childhood time was in the 80s growing up, versus his growing up time would have been in the 90s, since he came in as an infant in 86. So he was an infant when he was adopted, versus me being almost 6 years old when I was adopted. And so that's some of the differences there. But other than that, we both have pretty good looks, and we can probably beat the ladies off with a stick with our charming, habits.
And we age well.
And we age well, absolutely, because nobody would look at me and tell me that I'm probably going to be 50 this year. They still think I'm probably in, late 30s or something like that. And so we definitely age very well. But yeah, we've had a time to talk, so we couldn't do much filming inside McAllister's because they had music and stuff playing, and it was kind of a little rowdy in the background. But these are the things that we've discovered from chit-chatting and having a time to just get to know one another. And also we found out that we have a similar cousin who is kind of close.
Shenandoah, Iowa.
Yeah, to where we're at Shenandoah, Iowa. So that's only a little bit southwest from where he's at, and a little bit north of where I'm at from KC. So I've already reached out to that person to see if they want to meet up. But this person's a young one. He's, what did we say he was,
26
26 probably. So this kid would have been, he came in the States in 96, 97 probably. So that's when this person was born. But he is my fourth cousin, but his fifth is what it shows. But that's the similarity. So how that all fits in the tree, we still had our minds blown trying to figure out how
someone
that
cheated
works.
somewhere.
Yeah. So it just basically means that somebody was probably out, dogging around somewhere down the line on how it works. Come to find out, he just realized that he's 0.1% Middle Eastern, Indian, and Pakistani, which he didn't know about. And I said that had to come from your mama's side, because it didn't come from the daddy side, because it would have shown on mine. So that means his mama or great grandmother back in the day was out messing around with some Pakistani Indians back in the day. So we discovered that. But yeah, I mean, this has been a time of getting to know one another, and also a time to just kind of see how things match, similar things and interests. And so that's what we've discovered so far, and we definitely want to try to keep more in touch and try to dive more into the whole ancestry thing and find out where this Pakistani Indian thing came from. We don't know yet, but that was a shocker. That he was like, where'd that come from? That 0.1% of whatever it was that tainted his 99.9% Korean. So yeah, I mean, this is what it's about. I know that most people, and I say most people who have relatives, you guys take this stuff for granted. And for me, this is a new experience. For him, it's a new experience. Having somebody who's a relative and somebody that you can talk you know, stuff like that about. This is a new experience for both of us, and we have a lot more talking and things to do to get to know one another, and hopefully we can get this other cousin on board and get to know them. But yeah, this is kind of the journey that we take now. But like I said, most of you guys who have families and stuff, y'all take it for granted and don't see, you know, the things of this. You know, to us, this is uncharted territory. As a Korean adoptee, this is always a uncharted territory for us, and we're always excited to find people that we actually have blood relations with. And so no matter how diluted it is, because we're 4 cousins, we're still related. And it's still fascinating how the power of DNA can be able to help connect us in doing that. So I'm grateful for that. Grateful for 23andMe for showing our connection with it, you know, with it all, and how we got hooked up with each other through Facebook Messenger and found each other and was able to have this time to reunite and stuff. So Matt, how do you feel? How do you feel about meeting a relative?
I feel good.
Yeah.
Someone that's close and stuff, and learn about similarities and differences, and how we're brought up and stuff, and just trying to get a little bit more on the family history of where we came from and stuff like that, and see how everything relates.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things that we discussed was, I guess, ideas about what would happen if we was to find, you know, our actual birth parents, and how the questions that we asked. And I think I've commented on this on previous videos of what my version of it would be, to where it's a benefit for my kids, not necessarily for me. I would still establish a relationship with my birth people, you know, family if I found them, but I would do it more for the sake of my kids, for them to know who they are and where they come from. I'm already, like I said, 50 this year, so I don't have much interest in that. Matt, on the other hand, is different. He wants to know the whys. He wants to know, why would you want to give me up, and wants to know all this stuff about, you know, the hardships of having to give up a child. We don't know the circumstances, we don't know the situations that people were in, but he wants to know more of the why, because this is something that touches any adoptee, not just Korean adoptees, but anybody, of why somebody would want to give you up. And that's just it, is that I think for me, I have peace with it already, because I'm old, and he's you know, he'll get there when he wants to find the answers to it eventually. But that's where, you know, we're kind of different on that. I don't really care to know why. I just understand the circumstances of how things were back in the day, you know, in the early 70s, back when I was born. And for him, the mid-60s or the mid-80s when he was born, not the mid-60s.
God, I'd be old.
But the mid-80s when he was born, you
Tell
know.
him to go the other way.
I mean, even a decade and some change apart, there's still, you know, similarities and circumstances that could be different or similar. So we just don't know. And I'm not going to hold, you know, my birth parents, you know, to whatever. They had to do what was good for them and to my benefit. I'm happy to have been adopted into where I was at, and to have the family and the life that I had. So there's nothing that I take for granted in that, and I don't think there's nothing that he does neither, because we were given an opportunity and given a chance to still survive and to make something of ourselves. And that's what it's always about for me, is that, you know, give these kids the opportunities to still live and to make something of themselves. And so I'm grateful for them to even do that. That's what I'm grateful for my birth parents for doing that, for giving me that opportunity. So that'd be my special thanks to them. And I guess that, I'm sure that would probably be your sentiments too, because you had a pretty decent life here in the States, where you was at. But yeah, but he wants to know more answers versus me, like I said, because I'm older and I just don't care to know. Plus I'm more ornery than he is.
Plus I want to know where this Pakistani stuff came in.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to figure that out. Yeah. But yeah, I think that was a pretty big shocker to him, because I think that was the jaw-dropping moment for him. Where'd that come from?
I mean, that 1%, I mean, that still kind of gets to me, even though, you know, it's 1%, it still gets to me.
Absolutely. But yeah, but thank you guys for joining us in this journey. Like I said, we're going to try to find more people that are close to us and reach out. And if we can find answers, that'd be great. That's what we're looking for, is some answers. Some light to be shed on stuff, and so
some more family,
because it's good to have one now. We have a cousin that's down the road here somewhere. We want to find that joker and get him spun in also. And if it starts here, for us to have families and start having more kin, by golly, we're going to do it, and we're going to explore that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so watch us for future videos if we try to find some more folks and try to connect with them. But that's what this whole channel is about, for, you know, for me to try to find myself and find more of blood kin like Matt here, and we're going to continue on with the journey. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see where the future goes from here. But yeah, Matt, I'm happy for you guys, for you to at least stop by and to see me.
Yeah,
look,
thank you.
Look at us. I mean, you got to see us. You got to see the resemblance, right? You got to see the family.
Yeah,
resemblance.
we look alike.
Absolutely. So
y'all put in comments what you think they favor.
yeah. So yeah, you see. Yeah.
You need to turn around this way because you're in the dark.
Am I in the dark?
Yeah, y'all need to go this way.
Oh yeah, the sun is shining right there.
So, because y'all were in the dark.
Yeah, so you can
Okay,
look at us
there we
and see
go.
exactly what features we have that's similar. I mean, even though that we're distance, I mean, you know that there's some resemblance there somewhere. So
Genetics are strong.
genetics are strong with us.
Mhm.
So that's what it's all about. So whatever our surnames are, Kim, Choi, Pak, whatever the Korean thing is, I don't know, but we got it.
Yep.
We got it. So we're going to press on and try to find some more of it, okay? But thank you guys for joining, and we'll catch you on the next time, all right? See ya. Toodles.